Okay, now we're going to be looking at how to color Lily's face in some portions of this image using our kit colors while taking into consideration your light source. We're going to work with Lily using an overhead light source. And what I want to do is I want to draw particular attention to her face. Her face, once again, we talked about where the light source enters. Where the line enters is the lightest, where the line exits is the darkest. Light opposes dark. Now, the one thing that you have to look at when you're looking at faces is the hair. Lily's hair is going to cast a shadow onto her face. Underneath her bangs will cast a shadow on her face, and also this her little curly area there. As well as you look at this her little butterfly hat or hood here will cast a little bit of a shadow here. So that changes it just a little bit. Anytime that you have something shading, like if her flower was in front of her face here, you would have a shadowing around her flower. It's going to cast a shadow onto her face. So there are many different colors that you can use for skin tone. Some of the ones from the kit this month, you can use E93, R00, you can use the E02, the E00, and in some of the other kits you're going to get the E50 and 51 with the E00 look really great. I have a favorite combination, and for this video I'm going to show them to you because I think that they show up really great in camera. And you already have E00, but you can purchase the other two markers at Patty's store, and that's the E000 and the E01. I like this combination the best for videotaping and also for photography. I think that the skin tone turns out nice. It's not too dark of a skin tone or too light of a skin tone. But once again, you have many options in your kit this month for doing skin tones. So I'm going to work with my darkest color, which is my E01. And I'm going to add in the shadow in a modified feather stroke. And you can tell that when a modified feather stroke is not a real smooth line. The reason that that's important is because I'm laying down more color at the beginning of my stroke than at the end of my stroke, which means that at the end here there's less color, which means it's much easier to blend in my next color. Okay, I'm going to add in my E00. And I'm going to be reserving this white space. Face here. I'm going in with my E000. So again, reserving a white portion. Now, when I have this last little piece of white left, I'm going to go over with the side of my marker. Every time you color over a Copic marker, it gets darker by half a shade. So that's why I reserve that white portion, because when I first started coloring with my markers, I tend to overblend everything, so everything started to look all one color. So here's from a top light source. It's darker here because of the bangs, but lighter opposes darker. Darker over here because of her hat, and under here because this is the opposite of where the lines go in. This is where the lines go out. Now I'm going to go ahead and use E93 from the kit last month, I believe it is, and I'm going to use the tip-to-tip color method using my E00 with my E93 to add in cheeks. And E93 is a really great skin color. It's kind of a pinky warm color. I'm going to add our little cheeks. And now what I like to do is I like to use the Essentials opaque pen that Patty carries in her store to add highlights in. And I like to add the little highlights to the cheek. Where the little shine would hit her. Okay, now let's look at Butterfly Lily using a side light source. If the light is hitting Lily from this side, that means the light is coming in about between the 10 and 11 o'clock on your clock. And the light is strongest on this side. This is where the line's entered, and leaves on this side, which will be the darkest. Now, once again, as we're looking at this image, the areas that are going to shade her are going to be from her little hat and her bangs. Now I'm going to go in with my darkest color again, my E01. Once again, if you're interested in getting some additional colors of skin tones, Patty has just a wonderful selection of the Copic markers, and they're such a great price. And let me just say, her shipping is phenomenal. Now, not only do we have shadowing over here from those, we also have more shading because this is a side farther away from the light. So partial of her face over here is going to be more dark. Now I'm going to go in with my E00. Oop. I can tell just by looking at that was E000. Sorry about that. I'm going to do the feather stroke, and I blend into my other colors. It's just something that works for me. You don't have to do that. You can use the traditional blending if you want to also, and just blend in the little circles. I do that, and I do the real traditional style when I'm in a smaller space. But for me, I think it lays on the color smoother. Now I have this portion reserved over here as the lightest portion. I'm going to go in and blend into this with my E000. Once again, I'm leaving and reserving that space. In the middle is white. Okay, I'm going to go back over it lightly with more of a side. There you go. And you can watch this as it dries on tape too. I think it's actually pretty exciting. More exciting to watch paint dry, I can tell you that. All right, so once again, I'm going to use my E93 with my E00. I'm going to add in my cheeks. This is such a great color for cheeks. Other good colors are RB21, which we've had in the kit, and R20, which you will be getting in a later kit. So when we look at Lily from the side here, and also from the top, I'll show you what the differences are. Let me add her little highlights on her cheeks.